Hello children. Now we have been doing an important concept, maths concept, distributive property. So we're continuing with the same class. Today I'll start an activity and I hope you'll be doing that activity by yourself. Now it needs a graph paper or a square paper, but since I did not have any, I made a square paper by myself. So I hope each one of you will be doing it and pasting the paper in your practice copy. And I hope by now all of you are up to date with all what you have been doing in the digital classroom. Okay, otherwise it'll be very difficult for you at the last moment. So let's continue with the distributive property. Now this is an activity to show distributive property. Now can you see the squares here? Now this I have drawn a 12 centimeter line, see here, horizontally like this, 12 centimeter, and 5 centimeter vertically. And I divided into 1 centimeter squares. So total, when you count the squares in area sums, you had done counting the squares when this is 1 centimeter length and breadth of each square. So here there are how many squares? 60 when you count. And also 5 into 12 is 60. If you do it like this, you will find that every time if you have a square paper, a grid where you take say 4 into 3, like suppose you have 4 squares horizontally, 3 squares vertically, divide into like this, there are 12 squares here. And 4 into 3 is also 12. Now here we get 5 into 12 is 60. Okay, the whole thing 5 into 12 is 60. Now suppose I divide it into 2 parts. Can you see the highlighted part? Actually it's not that I'm dividing here. You can divide it here also, here also, here also. It's up to you. Or along this line also. So once you understand the property well, you can try it in any way. So now when I divide it into this way, so this side I have 10 squares and here 2 squares. So I have cut it along this highlighted line and pasted here. Can you see? I've pasted here. Now I find that here there are 5 into 10, total 50 squares, and 5 into 2, there are 10 squares. And when I add up, I get 60. This is the basic of distributive property. Now the next figure, I've done that grid again. I've drawn 3 times the same size grid. In one, I have cut it along the highlighted part and pasted here separately. So you are going to do the same thing. Now here what I did, now 5 into 12, by now you have done several sums, I hope, from the examples I had given you before. So 5 into 12, I can write as 5 into 10 plus 2. This is for my convenience because property always helps you and makes calculation easier. So 5 into 10 plus 2 if I write, so I get 5 into 12. So 5 into 12 can be written as 5 into 10 plus 2 also. And I'm getting 60 squares here also. So whether I write 5 into 12, I write 5 into 10 plus 2, I write 5 into 10 plus 5 into 2, I get the same answer. So where is the distributive property here? That 5 into 10 plus 2 is equal to 5 into 10 plus 5 into 2. So that means what? This factor 5, why I'm saying factor 5, because when we multiply two numbers, each is a factor of the product, isn't it? So this factor 5 is distributed to the members of this group. The 10 plus 2 is within one group. So I put within parentheses, that's brackets. And if I distribute this 5 to the each members of the group, like in this, and then add up, I get the same result. If I do simplification like this. Now see here, this was an activity and I've done it in this way also for you to understand, see. To solve this 5 into 10 plus 2, one is, which we have done before, is the order of operation rule. That is, first we do bracket, then off, that's multiplication, off means multiply, then division, multiplication, addition, and finally we do subtraction. So when there are two or more operations in an expression, in a sum, the order of operation rule is followed. Now here I have written 5. Here I told you before that when there is no operation symbol written here, it implies multiplication. So 5 into 10 plus 2, if it was given like that, what do? We first calculate the group member in the bracket. That is 10 plus 2 is 12, and finally, then multiplication 5 into 12 is 60. According to the distributive property, what do? We distribute this 5 to the members of the group, each members of the group. So 5 into 10 plus 5 into 2. Can you see here? 5 into 10 plus 5 into 2. Now, since this number has been distributed to both the members, we remove the bracket from here and we write in this manner. Then multiplication, this comes under the order of operation rule. So here we get 50, then plus 5 into 2 is 10, and finally we add up 60. So to simplify, we have two different ways of doing it. This you have been doing it for some time, but the distributive property is a new concept for you. It is very useful as you will gradually learn. There are more sums to show. The first one I had already shown you. One is simplification method, one is distributive method. So here I have done both the methods and I arrived at the same answer. Excuse me. So what do we conclude? That 5 into 10 plus 2 is indeed equal to 5 into 10 plus 5 into 2. Because we are getting the same answer, whether we calculate it this way or this way, isn't it? So this is true. 5 into 10 plus 2 is equal to 5 into 10 plus 5 into 2. Similarly here, 42 into 2 plus 5, this is not distributive method. This is the simplification method. And this is the distributive method. And yet we arrive at the same answer using this method. So 42 into 2 plus 5 is 42 into 2 plus 42 into 5. Similarly is the next one. The same thing holds for subtraction also. When it is 8 into 7 minus 1, this is the simplification method. But distributive method is what? 8 into 7 minus 1. 8 is distributed to 7 and 8 is distributed to 1. And we remove the bracket, but don't forget the negative sign here. So finally we get 56 minus 8 is 48. Now this distributive property you may feel that why do we need the distributive property? Now we could have done this easily. 2 plus 3 is 5 and 5 into 2 is 10. But here we are distributing it and calculating it and getting 10. But it is not that distributive property is not useful. As we will learn, there are many sums where the distributive property helps us in our calculations. Now we have learned distributive property with two numbers in a group within brackets. Now it can be extended to any number, sum of any numbers here. There can be three numbers, 1, 2, and 3. There can be four numbers here. You can add one more plus something, say plus 5. So there will be four numbers. So here you can add as many numbers as you want. And suppose we have 9 into 1 plus 2 plus 3. So what do we do? Simplification method. We do the bracket first. And we get the answer. But we are not going to do this method now. This is for your understanding. And we see that when we use the distributive property, we arrive at the same answer. The factor 9 is distributed to 1, to 2, and to 3. Can you see? So 9 into 1. Then this is plus, so 9 into 2, plus 9 into 3. So what do you get here? 9 plus 18 plus 27, that's 54. Now for this, you're learning the property, but this will be helpful when you're doing algebra in higher classes, when you're solving different algebraic sums. It's going to be very helpful. So this is just a repetition of what you have learned. Now another sum, suppose 5 into 127. Now how is distributive property helpful here? See, without complicated calculations, we straight away write 5 into. Now 127, you can write 100 plus 27 also. Instead of this, you can write 100 plus 27 also. But again, with 100, calculation will be easier, but 27, the same problem will be there of calculation. So what I did is I divided 127 in this manner. Do you remember? The place values, isn't it? Some of the place values, or you can say the expanded form. I've already done all this. So 127 will give you 100 plus 20 plus 7. And just now we learned that this is equal to 5 into 100 plus 5 into 20 plus 5 into 7. It is distributed to each members of the group. And we get this. So we have learned that sums like this can be solved in two different ways. One is the simplification method, order of operation, where bracket comes first, whatever is within the brackets we calculate, then we do division, off, then we do, bracket, then off, then division. That is the BODMAS rule you must have heard by now. And multiplication, addition, and subtraction. And this is another method, distributive property method. Okay. So did you see how this made our calculation easier? Now these are some sums which I have given you earlier also, but I have done again for your better understanding stepwise. Now see here, 7 into 100 plus 9. So now I hope you are clear. Here I just divided 109 into, what did I write? 100 plus 9, the expanded notation. And you see this part by now. I hope you have understood. 7 is distributed to these. Don't forget the addition sign in between. And finally, when you add up, it's 763. Now, this sum had been given in your textbook. 17 into 109. Now, see here, I've done it stepwise for children, those who may find it a bit difficult. Now, this part, all of you know that 17 is distributed to this and to 100 and to 9. So we are getting 17 into 100 plus 17 into 9. Now to make our calculation more simple without having to calculate in the rough, what do? Actually, 17 into 100 is very simple, 1700, isn't it? So this part you can write 1700 and do the second part, number 2, I have written like this to arrive at 90 plus 63. Or you can break this up also, 17 into 100. Now 100, leave it as it is. 17, I did it 10 plus 17. Now this part, again we are back to the basic. Like here 7 into 109. Can you see here 7 into 109? So I have got here 17 into 100. So what do? I break up 17 into 10 plus 7 within brackets into 100. And this is the part I continue with the calculation. I got till here, see 1700, isn't it? When you do it, you'll find it at 1700. Or you can directly write the 1700, those of you know. Now for this, plus 17 into 9. I wrote the same procedure, 10 plus 7 for 17 into 9. Now 9 is distributed to 10 and 7. Already you know this number, this factor can be on the left or on the right. And whatever it is, whether it's on the left, also it will be distributed to both the numbers within the brackets. Even if it is on the right, it will into 9, provided it should be multiplied by the number. And it is divided to, with distributed to both 10 and 7. So when I get here, see, 10 into 100 plus 7 into 100. 100 is distributed to both. You can write 100 into 10 plus 100 into 7. Then this plus is already there, don't miss out this. Then you have 9 into 10 plus 9 into 7. So all this comes here. These are multiplication, then addition, multiplication, addition, multiplication, addition. So we do all the multiplication first, 1000. Addition, we leave it and write as it is the symbol, then 700 plus 90 plus 63, and finally we arrive at this answer. Okay, but children, practice will make you perfect. I hope you'll be doing that. Don't leave it for another day. Now, and don't sit after doing only once. These sums will need practice several times. So now there's 102 into 103. Now we have done before also, but here again the same steps as I did in this sum, I'm repeating it. First we leave 102 as it is, multiply. We break up 103 into the expanded form. So that this is multiplied 102 by 100 plus 102 into 3. Can you see? And I get this line, whole line. 102 into 100 plus 102 into 3. Now I divide it into two parts. It remains the same. I just divide it for my convenience. I don't 1 and 2. Because here I'm going to write 102 in the expanded form into 100. And I hope you know by why I'm writing 102 in the expanded form and not 100. Because calculation by 100 is easier. Same here, 102 I've written in the expanded form, and into 3 I've written on the right hand side. Now I see this sum, this part is similar to like this. Two numbers are multiplied. Again, this number is similar to this. Two numbers are multiplied. Isn't it? Like the original sum. So similarly, then I move on to the steps. Finally, this, isn't it? And then again, I multiply and I add up and I get the answer. Now here I've given you a few sums just for your practice. 9 into 401. So you can write 9 into 401. You can write in the expanded form 400 plus 1. Now for this, you can write 2000 plus 2 into 14. Or first you can write 2002 into, you can write 10 plus 4 and you multiply it. And if you feel it is necessary to write this also in the expanded form and do the calculation, you can do it. And if you feel no, you can directly get their very small numbers. So you can expand this also 10 plus 4 and do it. Or you can first expand this to 1000 plus 2 into 14. Then you write the next step, then divide into two parts, 1 and 2, like the original sum when two numbers are multiplied. Then break up again 14 into its expanded form, 10 plus 4, and calculate. Now for this, you can do at once 8 into 251. Now 8 you did not write in expanded form, it is 8. So 251 you can write within brackets as 200 plus 50 plus 1 and distribute 8 to each of the members of the group. Isn't it? And then do the calculations. Go through the sums that has been given before also, today also. See the steps so that you don't miss out anything. Okay, till then, goodbye.